Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to a special edition of Chatt It Up Sports. I, of course, am your boy, Malcolm Miggy Harris. About to throw up on the microphone.
Lost it, dude.
What's up, boy? The intro was terrible. To my
That's
left,
right.
your right, my boy, Chase Green. Chase, what up, boy?
Doing great.
Oh, sorry. No, we're good.
As long as we didn't get the laptop.
No. It's perfect.
Yeah,
it's perfect.
Just fine, dude. Fantastic, boys. Good Easter weekend.
Yeah.
Masters week is here.
Officially.
I know we're recording this on Wednesday, so I hope everybody has a fantastic Thursday and happy Feel Good Friday.
Yeah.
Because Masters Friday is a great Friday, too.
It's a great Friday. How much does the production value at work drop because you're just looking at the Masters?
I will say, depends on your company. It's very, very on the March Madness first weekend level.
Yeah, for sure. I agree. Drew, what's up, brother?
What's up, man?
I'm gonna give you some air dap.
I'm about to say we've never performed. I mean,
it was crispy. It was crispy.
Yeah, me and you have never done it correctly, so we'll leave it up to the air.
Yeah,
we'll leave it up to the air. Full space.
And behind the camera, of course, show them your beautiful face, bro.
He doesn't have.
Oh my gosh, I'm tripping.
I don't have a camera. There we go. Sorry,
Okay.
my mic was also muted.
Well, you're hearing the voice of God.
Yeah.
Also,
You can see it. You can see a hand.
Yeah. Oh wait. There,
Yeah.
I'm here. I promise I'm here.
Much love.
What's up, big dog?
boom. Joseph Guthrie behind the switches, making stuff go
Home
for
plate
us.
over there.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's all right.
at
It's
the
all
TV.
right.
This is wow. It got me on the mirror.
Yeah.
The mirror was tough.
We're gonna introduce a special guest right after this theme music. Joseph, give it. It's another episode of Chatt It Up Sports. Like, subscribe, follow at Chatt It Up Sports for all the latest content. Behind me, you see the logo, but you also see what's under the logo because they are what is making this thing go. Ideal Yachts, the best in the business. Drew, you do this ad read better than 99.9% of anything I could put out. So if you don't mind, brother, could you just show some love to our great
Of
presenting
course, and
sponsor?
we love them. Yeah, Ideal Yachts made this whole studio, this whole experience possible. Ideal Yachts, they specialize in really any kind of boat that you can imagine. I know the yacht's in the name, but they can do a myriad of different things. They are a licensed broker in Florida. I went to the Chattanooga Boat Show, found out being a licensed broker in Florida is very important. Patrick, Sarah, Marty, Landon, and the rest of the crew over there, they will get you right. If you have any inkling, any hunch, it's getting warm outside. If you want to be on a boat, they are your people. Check them out at idealyachts.net today.
Love it. Thank you so much, bro. And thank you so much again to the team at Ideal Yachts. And also special shout out to Praxis Construction as well for what you guys have done for us. We are so thankful. And we're thankful for this man that we are now officially bringing out of the bullpen because now officially on the mound. I feel like we need his theme music too.
We do.
Mr. Alfred Taliaferro. Let me get 3 caps on top for Mr. Taliaferro.
Hey, man.
What's up, boy?
What's going on, fellas? Thank y'all so much for having me. It's a pleasure. Malcolm, you know you can make this call anytime. It's a pleasure. It's also a pleasure meeting Chase. Also a pleasure meeting Drew. I'm excited to be here, fellas, and ready to talk some sports.
We're ready to have you, man. It's thank you for picking up. And it's a lot of people don't know, man. I really honestly, and he's gonna be like, Malcolm, shut the hell up. You're lying. Bro, I would not be where I'm at today, I think, in media without Alfred Taliaferro. And he's gonna say it, but like for real, like people don't know. Like there's some old clips. We did the show and Alfred had it. It was called Sports Mecca. And I was like, bro, I was a failing business student doing terrible. And he was like, like, let me help you out here. And like the rest was history. Like for real, like I would not be.
Were y'all in class together? What was the deal?
We took classes
Yeah, we
together.
took some classes together later. Because were you journalism minor?
Yeah, I was a journalism minor.
Yeah, right. And then we took some classes later, kind of got connected. Malcolm, you were destined for greatness. Stop it. I don't give you too much credit. You were gonna figure it out either way it goes. You didn't need me. Stop it.
Listen,
Stop it. Don't give me too much credit for that.
You helped him along the way, Alfred.
He did.
I heard that. It's a pleasure to be on with you guys. I'm excited. There's a lot going on in the world, so I'm excited to be here. Whatever y'all need, just on the ride. It's on the ride.
I love it, man. For those of our listeners and our viewers here in chat, and of course, everywhere else. Tell them a little bit about you, Mr. Taliaferro. Tell them just your journey, and it's impressive. But I know you're very humble, so you can give us the highlights in the AT way.
Absolutely hate talking about myself,
I know you do.
Do it, Alfred.
I know you do.
It's your time to shine, brother.
Chattanooga is like second home to me, by the way. I'm born and raised Memphis. I went to the University of Tennessee, go Vols all the way around. But my wife is from Chattanooga. So for all my chat listeners out there, it's nothing but love. I love every time I'm in chat. My journalism story is it's been interesting. I'm in love with journalism. I'm not 100% sure if she loves me back, but I've had the pleasure of doing some incredible things in my life. I've accumulated a couple supporters. Couple.
You sure have
a couple
supporters throughout my journey, and
how many YouTube subscribers you got?
I got a good amount. I'm not even gonna lie, about 400,000.
Exactly, yeah.
And I got about another 400,000 Facebook supporters as well. So it's just been a great journey covering music and sports. Love it dearly. Wake up thinking about it every day. I've had some great opportunities in my lifetime to talk to some special people and cover some pretty special people. So I'm humbled and just grateful for the journey.
No, for sure. I was kind of giving them some background information on what you've been able to do in your career, and it's impressive. Just like the people that you've interacted with. I mean,
Oh yeah,
we can talk about the rap sheet. I mean, you've got interviews with people that like are, people dream about. I mean, young Dolph before he passed away. You've interviewed Dolph multiple times.
Yeah,
Migos. I mean, we're going to talk about Memphis in a second,
for
but just
sure.
personally, how was that interview with Dolph and just seeing that happen in real time? And I mean, you are Memphis, like that
Right.
means a lot to you.
Man, the Dolph experience was special, man. I met him, in Knoxville, homecoming. I skipped homecoming 2014. To do this interview with Dolph. He was performing at one of the homecoming concerts, and man, we kicked it for a while, and no security at the time. He's telling me, yo, I got this record. It's about to be the biggest thing out there. It's called Preach. You gonna know about it. And it ended up being the biggest record of his career. So we talked, and I was able to talk to Dolph a couple times after that before his unfortunate passing. But he was a special one. Man, I've caught Ric Flair. That was a special one. Peyton Manning was another special one. Rick Ross was Kevin Hart. These are some pretty big names that have been able to cross their paths. And the beauty of it is for all my young journalists out there is just the journey. It is the journey. It's these stories you get to live with and tell for a lifetime. So yeah, definitely rest in peace to young Dolph, and shout out to my hometown of Memphis. He was definitely a special one on that list for sure.
Yeah, man, because that's what's so crazy about this is like the fact that you get to tell these stories later on.
For sure.
Like, I got an 18-month-old and I got another one on the way in July.
Oh,
so
congratulations.
It's like,
Congratulations.
It's one of those things like, I got to build up a sick rap sheet here. This is, I can't. Yeah, we were talking about it before, like all these new like Instagram reels and whatnot that are coming out. It's like, I got to teach my daughter this so they don't have some bum ass coming to show up at my house, dude. I got to set the standard. So it's so cool to like hear what you've done, man. Like, and to be honest, like it's our boy Malcolm's friend. Like, it's like, oh, this is amazing to see somebody else's journey. Yeah, we just want winners to win. But can you, like, what was the one that kind of got you to be like, oh man, I'm really doing this? I know it had to be early on, but do you remember like the one that you're like, hey dog, I might be pretty good at this thing?
Okay. So at Tennessee, I used to like ruffle some feathers because Josh Dobbs was a really good friend of mine in undergrad, and we still catch up every now and then. Now, I was doing things that was upsetting the university. I developed a relationship with him. He was star quarterback for the Vols. Everybody knows Dobbs in Tennessee. He would give me these one-on-one interviews, right? And he's answering every question. So like, I think when I really knew I had something was when I was beating local beats to stories about the star quarterback who's randomly on a Friday night just kicking it with me, like just doing interviews. He has no business doing it. Not getting it cleared through the university. That was a special one. And then like Lil Jon. I remember like Lil Jon. Y'all remember when turned down for what became a thing in Knoxville, right? I lied and told his publicist, like, I lied and said I had talked to his publicist, and I think it scared him before a concert that he was doing that weekend that he came in town, and I got an exclusive with him. And when you start having those, like, you start having those hits like that, and people are looking around like, wait, we didn't get that. The local stations was looking for that. You start to think, okay, this is something special's brewing here, right? So that's kind of like the synopsis of a couple of the moments where you realize you're doing something, you know.
Dude, the set of balls on you to fake the publicist, man. That's awesome.
There's no crime about lying to a publicist. They can't lock you up for that.
You know, sometimes you gotta lie. Sometimes you gotta lie. And by the way, this is gonna be a great part of my story too. One day, Chatt It Up Sports, y'all doing some phenomenal things. This thing is growing. The studio looks fantastic. I was just telling you guys that off camera. Malcolm, you know you killing it right now. You are personally, I'm so proud of you. You are killing it right now. I cannot tell you that enough. Right. So you guys are y'all. The story. This will be part of the story that you mentioned, Chase, with young 18-month-old and soon to be here. This is going to be part of your great story that you can tell them down the line. Is what you're building right here with Chatt It Up Sports.
Thank you, brother. I will say too, I can't wait to tell my daughters, like, I interviewed Alfred Taliaferro.
Oh, here we go. This will be the low light. You can do this.
No,
This will be the low light
No.
section. This will be the low light section.
You ain't got no low light. Not in that studio you got going on, dude. I will say too, it's so funny to like hear. I obviously didn't know Malcolm growing up, so hearing his college ways and like all these people that he's connected with, I'm like, man, destined to be a star all along. Destined to be a star all along. Now we've left. There's a fourth of Malcolm somewhere in Chattanooga walking around here. He's lost so much damn weight.
Trying to get skinny, man. Since the wedding, we were at
Malcolm. I saw that. I don't know what you got going on over there, but you looking a little thin on me, man. Like you how many are you down, if you don't mind me asking?
Officially a 50 ball today, bro.
Is that not incredible?
Oh man,
I'm down to 50.
5-0, dude.
You walked in the bar the other day. You walked into Mike's the other day with that sleeveless shirt on. Yeah. And Chase and I were like,
"That's Darius Rucker." Oh, Alfred, I've got to show you. I'm gonna send this to Joseph. You have got to see this outfit. It was so good. So my wife and my daughter love Malcolm. Uncle Miggy comes up and he makes a special appearance, and she was like, "So how was it?" We just went to Mike's, watched the Final Four with me and Drew and Miggy, and I was like, "Babe, you have got to see Miggy's outfit." She's like, "Will you please text me or text him and ask him if he'll send a picture?" I was like, "There is one friend that will strike a pose wherever they are right then." And he did, and I'll get this sent. So
I gotta see it. I gotta see it
because it was camo pants,
jean jacket, and
cut sleeveless jean jacket.
Yeah.
Yo, Malcolm, since you losing the weight, what are we doing? We taking some fashion risks now? That's what we're doing immediately.
All the risk.
I see. That's a good feeling. That's got to be a really great feeling, though.
I was telling them, man, I got this T-shirt from a concert. Breezy Bowl.
Yeah, that was like what, last year this time, right? Or
it was in Atlanta last year. This time I couldn't fit it.
Hilarious.
And now it's like
kind of loose. That thing is loose.
And I'm like, wow.
That thing is loose too. Yeah. No, that's a good fit. It's a good fit.
It's great. Yeah, I've been and I'm very vocal about it. I've been taking GLP-1.
Okay. Yeah.
Literally when we got back from Jody's wedding, of course, shout out Jody Kennis.
Our dog, our mutual Jody,
our brother. Yeah, I was just like, yo, like I don't like the way I looked, like straight up. And yeah, I've been working out, walking. I need to lift more weights because I'm losing muscle mass. But yeah, bro, just trying to take care of myself, and it's been cool.
You look good, brother. You look good. You look really good.
Thank you.
All that on camera time. You got to listen. Too many cameras coming your way now. You got to start looking the part. That's all that
is. Too many cameras coming out there.
I can't be looking wild, man.
Superstar.
That's good.
I'll find it, just.
Yeah, but in terms of, we were talking about, you said a low light, which is crazy. I want to talk about some moments because it hadn't always been easy, like straight up, like it's. there's been times, and you've never been vocal about it. You've never wanted a handout.
Mhm.
You've really been self-made up into this point with the It's Mr. Taliaferro brand.
Mhm.
But can you identify a moment where you're just talking to your wife, India, your family, and you're just like, "Yo, like, this is a lot. Like, I don't know."
Yeah, crazy enough, you bring it up. We're in the midst of one right now. Like, here's the thing with content. If you ever digitally produced, the highs feel like you are on top of the world when you got that first video that goes viral. You made some good money and or made a good connection, a good relationship. Them highs feel incredible. There is another side of that, and if you stay in it long enough, you are going to feel it. Boredom lows feel like you don't know what you're doing in life. I mean, it is the lowest feeling. You're questioning every single thing about yourself, what you're building. For me, my wife, she's born and raised Chattanooga. She works in medical, so her life is sustainability, right? She's consistent with her paycheck, consistent with what she does week in, week out. And for me, I'm everything but, right. Like, there's great highs. Hey, a great high, we can go travel, go take a great trip somewhere. When it's not as great, and it does happen, we got to plan differently, right? It's just very tough to plan out life financially when you're running a company, and digital content is your main source of income. So in the lows, you just got to kind of stay true to path, and know why you're doing this, and find a way the next time to not to make sure the low is not as low. That's kind of like my goal there. So some of them lows, man, they can get to you, and a lot have left the business and just took corporate gigs, right? I've had to do that in the midst of this journey, take a corporate gig while I figure some things out. So them lows, man, them lows, just got to sustain the lows because they do get low.
No, they definitely do get low, and we talk about taking risk, and, we're speaking of risk, we just talked about risk. We'll show you this photo real quick.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hey,
let me see that
Alfred,
bad
real
boy.
quick, I wanna stay on that road just real fast on the content
Uh-huh.
creator part, because I think a lot of people have this idea in their mind. You by the numbers, you are and you're very successful,
For
but it
sure.
still feels like to people, they're like, "If you get to that number, it's game over, you're set forever."
Yeah.
Um,
I
com-
mean,
com-
it's
Completely
crazy.
not true, by the way. Completely not true. The algorithms change. The content that you produced yesteryear may not be what the algorithm is feeling today. Platforms are changing in real time. By the way, platforms like YouTube, Meta, these platforms are adjusting in real time. And partially, I believe, a lot in part of TikTok just kind of coming in and really changing how we see content, right? So, like, yes, my numbers are great, but oftentimes those numbers, they work in my favor. They sometimes work in my detriment. Sometimes people see you as a number and they think there's no way you could be going through a bad season, right? You got family members that, again, people don't see. They see the top number, right? The following count. They don't see the actual insights. As y'all know, fellas, it numbers can be perceived misperceiving because they show the numbers are oftentimes an indication of great moments when you got a lot of followers and momentum going, but they don't indicate the bad moments. So yeah, you're right. You're right. That's been one of my things. You're sticking me in a thorn with a thorn here, right? That's one of the things for sure.
No, but it's one of those things too that can also get you out of it, and you know that. You're gonna be
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
it's crazy too because you said you were big on Facebook, right?
Huge
That
on
was
Facebook.
huge.
Huge on Facebook.
And
Yeah.
that's what's so funny is, like, talking about the algorithm change in, like, the media world. I remember I had a podcast previously called Chat 10 Sports
Uh-huh.
and, did very well. I mean, we would have thousands. I mean, there was times we had tens of thousands. We had a couple good sponsorships around. It was coming to us, and that was all because of what Facebook Live used to be. Now, if we go
Mm.
live, you get a couple hundred. It's great because
Mm.
but then back then it was kinda how TikTok is now. It can just pick up very fast and
Right.
go. That's how Facebook was for us, and it's so crazy how different that is, and I
Yeah,
can
it's
only
interesting.
imagine for somebody like you.
Yeah, it's interesting. You brought up the Facebook Live thing. I want to check your. I want to check. So maybe we could talk behind the scenes. I've had a
Yeah.
few people say that they've had issues with Facebook Live. I'm not sure if you still own that page or whatever. Maybe we could check some things out. Or I've heard actually. We could talk off camera. I don't want to get into
Yeah,
this
yeah,
nerdy stuff,
I
but
know, but it's like some people like the media stuff, so yeah, that's what I
yeah, for
wanted.
sure. I think that has to do, if I'm not mistaken, with the form that you're using to host the live. Right. Somebody
Mhm.
told me that it may be OBS related or StreamYard related or something along the lines. it depends on the open broadcast software that you're using to connect to Facebook. I guess they kind of like frown on that.
Interesting.
I think is
Yeah.
but we could talk off camera. I don't
Yeah, we
know, but
will.
you're not the first person I've heard bring up how they're live. Basically, the lives are not reaching their audience, basically, is what you're saying. So the audience never even knows that you're live, right? But we
Exactly.
can talk about that nerd stuff whenever you want to, by the way. Whenever you
Anytime.
want to.
Anytime. Yeah, I just
Yes,
was
sir.
wondering. It's just cool to like how media landscape is so different than
For
people
sure.
expect it to be nowadays.
Man.
For sure.
I could talk to AT for like hours.
I know. It's
I have so much I want to ask you.
It's our boy here.
AT, when it comes to home, let's talk Memphis. Memphis is very important to you, but now you know, obviously in Atlanta, you go home often for one. That's a question I have, and then two, we're gonna get into it in a minute. But if you could just put into words what Memphis means to you, what do you think that looks like?
Yeah, I always say Memphis made me, Knoxville raised me, right? So born and raised Memphis, Tennessee. I come from humble beginnings. Didn't have much and just a dream. You know, I know Malcolm, I know you're a big J. Cole guy, so just a dollar in the dream, man. And Memphis basically molded me. There have been so many moments in my life from middle school to high school where challenges were coming my way. I used to have the biggest plugs in my head. My hair wouldn't grow in two spots. And I used to get clowned every single day of school. This is a real story, by the way. And I remember like I used to cry myself to sleep at night. Like, why are you putting me through this one? Right? Like out of any test, like you're affected so much. You can't get girls with plugs. Nobody wants to be with the guy that has plugs on the side of it. It's just so embarrassing. And I obviously didn't realize at the time that it was kind of like molding me to be kind of like Teflon to criticism that I may get for content online today. Like it literally brushes off me. They're talking about me. I had an Angel Reese take this morning that people were not a fan of, and they're tearing me up this morning. And me and wifey can get a good laugh, and she loves how when the jokes get harsher today, because but it's a testament to how Teflon I've become, and I think Memphis in a lot of ways made me that way. You asked me how often I get back. I try to get back quarterly. Sometimes we exceed that. Sometimes we fail. I'm in the middle of a failure right now. I haven't been back to Memphis since the holidays last year, but I plan on getting back soon. I love Memphis. My mom's from Memphis, so that I always say my mom's from Memphis. So I love Memphis, and growing city. Definitely a lot to love about Memphis, and a lot to work on and develop and get better as well.
Leads us.
Yeah, there.
Oh man,
There's
what
been
a
lot
lead in.
said
Thank
about
you
how,
for this lead. I know where this is headed.
there's
Segway
been a lot
King.
said about how
The Segway King.
how Memphis can improve.
So let's just hop into it, because you had a TikTok and a viral moment a couple of days ago that you had some statements. Obviously, for those that don't know what we're talking about, is LeBron James, which is the best player to ever touch a basketball, and I will debate anybody at any given time. I don't care about a finals record. He essentially said that Memphis, I hate going there. It's not what I think. Like, why are we doing this? I think we should take the Grizzlies and move them to Nashville. I was talking to a buddy of ours, me and AT. He goes by the name of Keith McGee. And Chase, I think you've met Keith, real random. He was the bigger dude, Keith. He's on a weight loss journey right now too. But
yeah,
Keith,
shout out to Keith, man. He's going at it. He's going hard.
Yes, I have met Keith.
Yeah.
Exactly who
You met
yep.
Keith, and he's shout out to him. He's got his daily
Keith
deposit.
came to Whiskey Cowgirl.
Yeah, he was at Whiskey Cowgirl.
Keith, big boy,
Yeah,
big boy, light feet.
yeah, that boy,
yeah.
that boy got
Okay.
some Chad Johnson feet, man. Don't
Yeah.
let him confuse you.
You can
Yeah.
bust it.
Oh,
my
Dude,
God.
he was grooving, dude.
Oh yeah. But AT, your thoughts about this from LeBron, and is this one of his biggest missteps, or just what are you thinking here?
Well, first off, if you ever been around a rich person, I am not. You can't tell rich people how to feel about life. Okay, let's just start there. LeBron James is a billionaire. All right, I know sometimes we mix athletics. LeBron James is a very wealthy man. I did not enjoy his comments that he made about Memphis, because number one, it was in a public forum, and fellas, y'all can school me a little bit. I'm not familiar with the Bob Does Sports podcast.
boy.
Oh
Bob Does
boy.
Sports.
Is that a big, like, seriously?
Yeah,
is that
that's probably either the second or even largest YouTube golf channel. So the
Got it.
comments that he made, they do videos all the time with big
Right.
superstars across industry stuff. But they'll basically go out. A big part of their brand is like they'll go out and they'll play 18 holes and they'll drink. But another part is they'll get big stars on, like LeBron. They'll have them,
Yeah.
and they'll just go out and play golf. They'll do a challenge. They'll try to make. But it's really just the guys, the three of them,
Right.
Bob, Joey, and Fat Perez. Like, they're hilarious. They make the whole thing. But I was going to say that after you got done. My favorite part about the whole thing was that LeBron is on a YouTube golf outfit making these comments about the Grizzlies. Like, it's like he picked a really specific issue to be on the golf course with.
Very interesting take.
And with him getting into golf, he would be very familiar with this channel. He probably would watch them frequently.
Oh, he's a big YouTube golfer. Yeah,
yeah.
that's a big thing. It's like he
big
knows about
YouTube.
Did you see the Internet Invitational and all that stuff?
Kind of maybe
So
refresh my memory here.
Yeah, the Internet Invitational was, I mean, honestly, probably the biggest YouTube sports thing we've had in a long time, if not ever. It
Okay.
was a combination of Bob Does Sports plus Barstool, $1 million pot. They had like it was a team of 3, and they played a tournament. And it was huge. They posted every day. It was wonderful, like so good. It's getting nominated for is it an Emmy?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it was huge, and it was very, very well done. They crushed it. The Instagram, it's Barstool, like they do it right.
Yeah.
Anyways, so those guys took off because of this, and it's just beyond my imagination. And we live in a pretty big ass golf town and a golf area, and my family and friends love it, dude. Love it.
Okay.
So like, it's a world of its own. And I was not into the big YouTube golf, but then I've got family that works for the PGA, and then a lot of that have dabbled and played. So it's like, oh yeah, man, it's just a world of its own. It's like fitness YouTube or anything else. Like these niches are just beyond your control sometimes. It's awesome.
You learn something new every day. So LeBron was on a forum that's very popular. This is news to me. I did not enjoy the comments coming from LeBron. My thing with LeBron is, if anybody understands how valuable one player can be to a franchise, it's LeBron James. Cleveland Cavaliers were 9-73 before he got there. If my memory serves me correctly, Dan Gilbert majority buys this team in 2005. So those two moments are what changes Cleveland sports history, right? There's some people would argue if LeBron never gets drafted, we're one player, one human being on God's green earth away from that franchise not being around. I did not enjoy the form that LeBron used to make those comments, because he does look away. If I'm call a spade a spade, everybody code switches. I'm not knocking LeBron for code switching based on the room that he was in. Yeah. When you start to see, Memphis is a majority black city, and the sports part of it is iffy right now. If I'm being completely honest with you, I love my hometown, but it's iffy. The Grizzlies are up in the air, and I feel like there were ways LeBron could have gotten his point across without doing it on a live stream, without being so specific to Memphis. Because we go do some numbers. There are a few other markets that have had healthier players over the last few years, and their ticket sales are not good either. It's not just Memphis. And if you look at the Ja Morant era in Memphis, it's been a bad shake, if we're being completely honest. So no, I did not enjoy those comments coming from LeBron. Again, get it, he's rich. Get it, he's I'm sure he does not enjoy the Hyatt hotel. I'm not even mad at him for that. I'm not mad at that. I promise I'm not mad at that. Hyatt needs to get better. You got athletes complaining. But coming from him, his story is he was the guy that changed the franchise. He is the guy that saved the Cleveland Cavaliers. If anybody understands how important it is to get that one star, it's him. That was my big takeaway there. What y'all feel about this one? I would love to hear y'all takes about this one.
Couple things. Number one, yeah, I mean, I do it on a daily basis, and it's unfortunate, but like, you got to code switch in the rooms that you're in. Like,
sure.
Like guys, like straight up, like when I'm talking to these executives at Freight Waves, like I wore this shirt today at work, and I kind of, I felt weird. Like, so tell me about autonomous vehicle. Like, you have to be different, bro.
It's the Blake Griffin thing,
Yeah,
dude.
it's just a
It's
shit
Blake
that comes with
like
it.
he was talking to Mark Norman about that. He was like, "Yeah, I'm going to do Melo's podcast after this. It's gonna be very different than doing Mark Norman's podcast." Like, it's the truth, man. It's where you got to go. And
Yeah.
also, bold strategy. We're in that state.
No, it is. It is. I will say the Hyatt has to quote unquote get better, AT. Like I feel you. But bro, like you're the kid from Akron, Ohio. And it's like, don't forget that. You know what I'm saying? It's like you have put kids just like you from K through 12 through school because they couldn't afford it, but you're too good for the Hyatt.
Yeah.
That's what we're on, Bron. Like, to me, this is Bron. Like, I know everybody was like, you remember the stuff, y'all, about China that LeBron did a couple years ago?
He said that one time and never said anything else about that. Matter of fact, nobody from the NBA has ever said anything else after Daryl Morey made those comments about China.
Yeah, no, he said it and he was done. I think this is socially LeBron James's biggest misstep of his career outside of the decision. Honestly, I think it is lack of self-awareness, and you're talking to one of LeBron James's biggest fans.
Yeah, you're probably the biggest Bron stan that I know.
Yeah.
What's crazy to me too is like it is kind of a knock on Memphis right now, but we were 3 years ago? Ja Morant was potentially going to be the face of the NBA.
He was
not even a question.
There was no doubt. They got the 2 seed, potential of changing everything. I wouldn't have said it's going to make the same impact, but Memphis was already a better basketball town than Cleveland at their starts. If Ja would have kept going and not been a total screw up, then who knows how big that would have been, and we would have had a totally different perception. Sports change towns. When the Titans are awesome, Nashville's awesome. Now Nashville has gotten so big, they're trying to big brother this situation.
For sure.
I personally would love it if they did, just because of proximity. I'm a Titans fan. I would love more things in Nashville. I don't know if I could ever give up the Braves, but as far as like central to my Tennessee world, it would be awesome to have that. But dang, dude, 3 years ago, you would not have said this because it was like it's the Memphis. I went to the Zebo, probably the last really good series they had against Golden State.
Yeah.
And that was the first time I ever been. I've never been. I mean, I guess I went when I was younger. My mom's grew up there for a while. And so we went back and visited some friends when I was younger, but I never got to experience Memphis as a 21-year-old. We'll just say that.
Oh, yeah.
And so it matters.
Yeah.
It matters, dude. And so we went down there, just took a trip. My buddy Javica Djurdjevic. Yeah, Javica Djurdjevic, one of the most successful friends that I have. He is straight up from Eastern Europe, and his family grew up in Orange Mound. Javica, I'm going to go ahead and tell his story because it's amazing.
Please.
Because I told it last night to my wife. So Javica grew up very, very rough. Javica, despite being a 6 foot tall Eastern European man, is the blackest friend that I have. And he was telling me one other day, he said, well, I was going through, and he said, I think he was like 17 or 18. And I was out with a group of friends. We were passing by this really rough bar and something happened. They got in a little scuffle. You know, it's just young boys like bumping each other, talking some shit. And then he was like, whoa, fellas. Let's not do this. We don't need to fight. And they're like, what? You know, if you, he goes, hey, y'all like pussy? We all like pussy, right? And it separated the whole thing and it diffused. They're like, what the heck just happened? So that's always a great story about Javica in Memphis. But he took me to my first Grizzlies game. It's the best basketball city I've ever been to. When it's right.
Right. That just the area you're speaking about, I thought about that. Like I've been about maybe 5-6 arenas for playoff games. I can't name off the top a better playoff atmosphere than what Memphis had when it's like you say, when it's moving correctly, when the fan base is energized, right? Like I went a few years ago when ironically the Lakers were playing in Memphis and it was a blowout win for the Grizzlies, and that thing was rocking. Bill Street was rocking. Nobody had crime on their mind. Nobody had nothing harmful on their mind. Everybody was in good spirits, and that's what the team means to the city. You know what I mean? Like there are so many things attached to Memphis, so many companies. You know, for all people, anybody familiar with Memphis, Nike's attached to the Grizzlies. Who knows how things progress there? Nike It's one of the biggest employers that the city has. There's so many different things that could go wrong. And LeBron's the face of Nike. So when you start connecting dots here, you can start to really play some games in your head here. And like, LeBron, this comment makes no sense with your business, what you represent. Like this is you don't have to. You have a son, by the way, that plays in the league who's going to have to go to that Memphis market. You know, Bronny's a marginal basketball NBA player at best. He's going to have to go to that market. Hopefully, years after you're gone, you're putting your son in harm's way, right? With making comments like that. It just wasn't a smart thing to say. But we often say bad, stupid stuff on live streams, right? So, facts.
Yeah, very much so. I got to ask, one thing that I picked up on early in the interview when we were talking about this point, you talked a little bit about one player can change a franchise.
Right.
And obviously, for the longest time, we went over it. Like the Memphis Grizzlies probably thought that was going to be Ja. Thought he was going to be a franchise changer. And so I have a twofold question here. One, is there a way back for Ja Morant in Memphis after this season? Not like, I'm not saying he has to be face of the league, but can he lead this version of the Memphis Grizzlies to where they're kind of in a rebuild, retooling era with the exit of Jaren Jackson? Zach Edey's been shut down for the year. And also, but if he can't, is there a player on the roster that you would feel even comfortable with as maybe the face of this franchise? I have a couple in mind, or maybe one.
Well, please share. I would love to hear what you got.
Yeah, I mean, for me, the only guy on this roster that I could see a future for, even as like a second option in the playoffs, is Cedric Coward.
Yeah,
I'm a big Coward guy.
Yeah.
I think he does all the little things right. I think he's one of those guys that doesn't necessarily demand the ball. And so in this kind of tank not era, but tank version of the Grizzlies we've got in the later season, it's kind of hurt him as a whole, as where you got a lot of guys that are like playing for their next 10-day contract, playing for their next minimum contract. But Coward, early in the year when the Grizzlies were competing, was one of the most fun rookie watches out there.
Yeah.
Like there was legitimate thought, like, hey, is he going to compete with Coop and Kahn for Rookie of the Year? So he's the only one on the roster that I personally see that I would take with me. I like Walter Clayton. I think he's just a fun role player guy. But I am interested to hear what you think about Ja in the future.
Well, the short answer, if there's anything on the roster that I believe that you can build around. No, I was a big Desmond Bane guy. He was my guy for this era of Memphis Grizzlies, and obviously they traded Bane for a haul last offseason, which can't get mad at. When you look at what they were able to get back, you can't get mad at that. I was screaming, and people think I'm not. People think I dislike Ja Morant. I've never met the guy. I was screaming 2.5 years ago, I would have got out of the business of Ja Morant. I would have made the trade then for Ja and gotten the ultimate. I think maybe when he kind of got the first suspension for like 6-8 games and did the weird Jalen Rose interview, I was just saying, get out of the business now, because the truth of what I believe happened with Memphis and Ja can happen to anybody. When one side of the relationship takes advantage of the other side of the relationship, you're not going to stop taking advantage of something if somebody allows you to step on them. And Memphis was so happy to have Ja. And because he ingratiated the city, we could talk all day about some of the inside stories I know about the Morant family and stuff like that. He became a part of the city, and the city started seeing themselves in him. And what came of that is you saw things happening and you didn't check it. So with Ja, we're way past. I mean, if the Grizzlies are able to get, think about it, they got like 4 picks for Desmond Bane, 4 firsts for Desmond Bane. If they're able to get 2 first-round picks for Ja this offseason, it would be a miracle right now because of how much his value has diminished around the league. And people know the Grizzlies got to make a move, right? So you're not going to give your best offer when you know the Grizzlies got to make a move. Their best bet is to pray to whomever they believe in, or what higher power, that they get one of these top 3 picks in this draft and figure a new situation around Daryl Peterson, or maybe you get one of the young fellas from Kansas, or you gotta start this thing over with a player that energizes the franchise, but he has to understand it's a two-way street with the relationship. Ja started to take advantage of the two-way street and made it a one-way, and I think that's where things went left with Memphis. I don't think it's salvageable with Ja in Memphis. I won't rule him out, in his career, period. He's incredible. He's too athletic, just too good when his mind's right. It just depends on what market can get him. Can Boston get him? Can Miami get him? It depends on if the market that gets him next builds some rail barriers for himself and family. Because I've heard a lot people talk about Ja. I've heard a lot of crazy stories about the Morant family behind the scenes. So you kind of need a structure for the entire family. Are they too rich now to be in the structure? I don't know, But
That's what's wild to me is like,
Yeah.
dude, his market value just
Plummeted,
fell off
bro.
a cliff.
Plummeted.
right.
Cliff, man.
Trae Young and Ja were the ones that just seen their value just
We saw
happen
it.
that quick.
I saw the Trae Young thing.
You saw that one coming.
Yeah, I'm a Hawks fan too, so
Oh,
yeah. So
Yeah.
we've always I grew up closer to Atlanta than
We
I
gotta
did.
do a game together one day. We gotta do a game together.
Oh, sign me up, brother. Sign me
Me
up.
and
gotta
Chase
do-
got a lot of similarities.
Yes, we
gotta
do.
do
In
a
all
game
the best
together.
ways.
I just can't believe that we've gotten this far with Ja. I don't know where you go because I didn't know that. I guess I'd heard rumors, but you're somebody that's around a little bit more than me. I didn't know the family stuff was that bad.
From what I've heard, it's egregious.
So structure wise, you would say Miami would be like the best place to go,
Yeah.
but would they take him?
Right, sure. It's got to be an organization. I mean, based on what you're saying, Alfred, I mean, it's got to be an organization that gets a promise up front from Ja and camp, like, hey, we're not going to let it get to this point. Like, we can't invest the 2 first-round picks. Very generous. We can't invest even the 1 first-round pick on a guy that may be out of here in a year and he may play 20 games for us, or we can't invest this first-round pick on the hope that you start to make 3-pointers again, or you start to want to play more than 25 games in the season. Like that, it's just not going to work for us. So when I think about organizations like Miami, when I think about who's another, I guess, traditionally smart organization,
Boston's a good one.
Yeah,
Boston, San Antonio.
When I think about those organizations, I think it's probably just not even in the realm of possibility. They're just not going to take the chance. Like, why would they do that to themselves? Like, because another thing that comes with Ja is, I think it's either $32 or $39 million on the payroll, something like that. It's a lower scale rookie max because it was signed a couple years ago. But I mean, when I think about that, it's like, why would we do that? We can get 2 real nice role players for that, and they're going to play 60 games barring injury for us.
Well, if you can make him a number 2, there's a lot of reasons why you would do it. I mean,
Sure.
if he can be your number 2 option, you're probably competing for championships. And the Boston thing, I keep bringing it up because it doesn't make sense today. Something tells me there's going to be a Jaylen Brown for Ja Morant conversation in the next couple of years. It sounds ridiculous today. I will be completely honest with you. I've always felt like Boston is not in love, and I know Jaylen's a Finals MVP and had a lot of success. Something tells me there's going to be a conversation about Jaylen Brown for Ja. And if Memphis is able to get, by the way, it would be a steal, right? But something tells me one day that dialogue is going to come about, assuming Boston, fresh off of the success they've had the last 3 years, they come back a little bit, right? Obviously, today it doesn't make a lot of sense. But like you said, Ja needs structure. I don't know if you can give a rich guy at this point in his life, Ja or Zion, to be honest with you. I just don't know if that's just really not how this thing works with rich people, right? Like, I don't know if you can bring it back in and really back in with the success. And more importantly than the success, fellas, how many times he's been told yes. I don't know how you now trade him somewhere where somebody's like, no, we're going to tell you no. I don't know. You may need a legendary coach to pull that off at this point,
Yeah.
I want to talk the business side for a second about Ja, because Ja to me has one of, if not the best signature shoe.
The best.
Oh my goodness.
You love it.
I still, I own a pair of 3s.
Yeah.
I love them. Dude.
Yeah. Oh, y'all got, okay. Y'all both got Ja's. Okay.
Yeah, man.
What does Nike do with Ja? Because the shoes are cold.
Yeah. The shoes are great. So, and I was going to get to this later, but I'm glad you brought it up.
Of course.
So it really is, you said Ja Morant's market value has fallen off. We talked about that. But the Ja Morant marketability has not fallen off. That is the biggest point with Ja that I think a franchise may take a chance on, is not the on the court play, but it's kind of like if you put it out there for Ja, they will come. Like they're going to show up because it's the name Ja Morant. There's a reason that Ja Morant's his news headlines grab almost as good as anybody in the league outside of LeBron. Like if you put Paolo Banchero is out for the year and Ja Morant is out for the year on the same, like right next to each other, I guarantee you the Ja thing has like 100,000 more views, 100,000 more likes. Like it's that level of marketability. Because if I'll be honest, the Ja 1 and 2s, they're not my favorite shoes. The 3s are really good. But I think what they do really, really well with the Jaws in specific is they put it out there. They're creative with the colors, and now I'll be honest, the 3s, I wore them last night to play. I think they're a pretty perfect basketball.
They're a great shoe. They're a really great shoe, man. We've seen historically, you know, the face of the NBA is not a one-to-one thing. There are so many factors that go into being the face of the league. One of the reasons why Ja was really a layup to be the face of the, no pun intended, a layup to be the next face of the league was that rebellious personality. We've seen that with Allen Iverson, with Kyrie Irving, with Ja Morant now. People's stories are not as perfect, right? People have flaws. And I think a lot of times people can associate themselves with the flawed individual, right? And the one that wears it. So I think Ja getting Nike's best shoe, in my opinion, in years. A lot of my close friends work at Nike. Those shoes still sell great out of the factory. So I think, like y'all say, that is another part of why a next team would want to do business with Ja. Also, in a lot of ways, kind of like one of the scarier parts of it as well. Like, not only does he not have to care about that NBA money, Nike's going to fondle him with probably another $150 million because of the business. So as good as it is, it also kind of scares me a little more as well.
Yeah.
With doing business with Ja Morant, going forward.
I think that's why I should have probably said this when you were talking about Jaylen Brown. I am a Celtics fan. I think
Vandy and Celtics.
Yeah, I know. I'm all over the map. I'm a Falcons fan as well. I know. But I think that's kind of why that people don't necessarily gravitate towards my guy Jason Tatum. Is he's so buttoned up? Like every part of Jason Tatum's life is so buttoned up. It's designed not to get to this point where Ja Morant has gotten to, and that's great. Jason Tatum is going to be a very rich individual for the rest of his natural life. He may win another championship or two. He's going to have success barring injury for as long as he wants to be, probably until he gets to his late 30s. But it's really hard to identify with a guy with God-given talent that's just better than you. But if you can see somebody who kind of goes through the mess, who kind of makes the mistakes, the flaws over and over again, if you can see that and he's got the God-given talent, then I feel like that's a big part of why a lot of people kind of gravitate naturally around Ja.
Oh, 100%. And you talked about it too, like the reckless personality is a reckless basketball player. Like, and I mean that in the best way possible, actually, because one of the weirdest knocks of all time was he goes to the rim too hard.
Right.
That was literally a thing, was like Ja goes and tries to dunk it. I was like, people in Memphis love that.
Oh yeah.
Smaller guy, especially when you're coming out with the Zion comparisons and da-da-da-da-da. It's like Ja was Memphis through and through. A little bit reckless, highlight reel, dunk on you. Like that's what they wanted. They got their guy. Very different, but similar all at the same time, of like the roughneck, those the grind, the grind city days. Like that, it's different. But it was also, dang man, we've got our guy.
Yeah.
We've got our guy, and he is doing things right every night. There's an unbelievable highlight. It just kept rolling, and I just couldn't believe that. You're right, because it's like the shoes sell, so people are still holding on. Like the storybook arc could come around.
It could definitely,
and that would sell the shit out of some shoes, boys and girls.
You just brought up something I never even thought about before. The grit and grind era, as successful as Memphis was, it was ugly basketball. If we're being complete, it was. I mean, we were in the high 70s or low 80s, right? Like there was, to go get Ja to be the next. And I like, right. And by the way, anybody from Memphis knows it. Mike Conley was, we're talking about how buttoned up Jason Tatum is. You can't find a flaw about Mike Conley. He came into the league early with, if I'm not mistaken, his dad was his agent and manager. He just wasn't going to make a mistake, right? He wasn't going to see it. I mean, read to the kids. How can you get mad at a guy that spent as much time as he could reading to the kids? Like, he was so buttoned up. Ja was everything but. And he looked a lot fancier than Zebo and Tony Allen and the Marcus All-Led.
Stop. Don't you tell me that baby hook, that baby lefty hook that Mark and Zebo are getting below the rim 6'9" guys.
Right. It was effective, but just not what you want to turn your TV on to at 7, 8, 9 p.m. in the evening time, right?
Oh, dude, no,
right.
Don't get me wrong. The 60-year-old dads out there. My dad is like,
that's
good basketball, son. You throw it down there in the post. That's a good entry pass.
Right. That
what they
60-year-old dad, that 60-year-old dad ain't buying them Ja Morants though. That 25, 30-year-old or that kid is the one that's buying them Ja Morant shoes.
Fun fact, Mike Conley never had a technical foul in his 18-year NBA career.
Is that real?
Not
That's
one.
real. Yeah.
Are you for real?
Has not had one technical foul. They were talking.
Wow.
They were talking about it on some pod, and they were like, he should just get one in his last game, just cause.
Just do it.
Just to say he has the record for most continuous games.
And there was something too.
I didn't know that. Wow.
There was a story in there too, like somebody took one away from him.
Yeah. That's the thing that kept the streak alive. Like he got one and they rescinded it. Yeah.
Wow.
That's a that is such a random.
I know.
Yeah. You're right. That speaks to his character. Ja Morant has had a few technical fouls in his life. He's had a few technicals in his career, but Memphis loved it and wrapped their arms around him.
I'm interested to see where he's going to end up. If we could all just think of one destination in our heads right now, and I'll start on where he's going to go. I'm going to go Sacramento. And I think he's going to take the Trae Young route and just go to a small city. You really can't get into much in Sacramento, although I know they get active out there in Sacktown, you know. I'm not acting like it's just sweet, but I think he goes to Sacramento and kind of has the rebrand and just puts up decent numbers on a really bad team. I think they blow it up out there in Sacramento. That's my thoughts.
Go ahead, Drew.
Yeah, I've had a stealth contender for Ja. And it's not it doesn't really have a lot to do with Ja. It more has to do with how active they've been in trying to trade. We hear these stories that come out like around the trade deadline in the offseason about how active they've been trying to trade for stars. I look at a team like the Minnesota Timberwolves as a perfect stealth landing spot for Ja, simply because like we've heard in the KD sweepstakes, they wanted him. In the Giannis sweepstakes, they wanted him. They want another big name to go with Anthony Edwards. And the unfortunate thing for them is that Rudy Gobert I think he's 34, and Julius Randle is probably at the peak of his career right now. I don't think Julius Randle is going to get any better, and they're sitting at the 6th seed in the West, and they're staring down OKC, the Spurs, who they're not going anywhere. Like outside of what the Lakers do, outside of what the Nuggets do, those two teams are going to be constants barring injury. So I look at the Minnesota Timberwolves as a team like, can we get off the Rudy Gobert contract? Will Memphis take him while they're rebuilding? Will they just buy him out instantly? And then we'll have a second star to pair with Ant. And I look at kind of like a fire meets fire type of thing with Ant and Ja. Like if there's one guy that could keep Ja Morant in line, it's the other guy that we've seen, Anthony Edwards, who is uniquely himself, who says whatever he wants in interviews. I thought they would be a fun stealth team for a while for Ja.
I like that one. I
like
like
that a lot.
Yeah,
too,
that would be very interesting to see.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, you talk about selling tickets. I'd watch every game. I mean, every game that those two are on the floor at the same time with one another, that would be a national television pop. I mean, you couldn't keep them. The Lakers and the Warriors, when Curry gets off the team, they're going to get subbed out for Memphis with those two if the basketball product is good.
I do want to also say you have the most popular shoes, the AE ones, and then Ja shoe on the same team.
AEs are good. Yeah.
You know what's funny? It's not the exact same, but it would have the same feel as probably like guys, especially the time the Anthony Davis DeMarcus Cousins combo.
Oh, that's cold.
When that clicked, it really did feel. I was like, oh shit, this team could win.
Yeah.
It could win. They were playing unbelievable until that weird hop on out of bounds. Anyways, that would be very similar to that in almost a guard fashion.
Yeah.
That would be fun.
It'd be interesting. I mean, a lot of it, because I mean, Minnesota gets out of the Rob Dillingham business pretty instantly, and
they would love that.
Hey, it happened. But you know, they've got Bones Highland right now, but you know, with Mike Conley, we mentioned him earlier. With him, you know, he's going any day now. Maybe he sticks around one more year, but as far as Conley, you getting, you know, good 30 minutes in a playoff setting, probably not for much longer. So I mean, I look at it as something like if they can backfill with other good role players, because losing to Nikhil Alexander-Walker this past offseason, and you keep Randall on the team, and then they have a couple of young, interesting players. You look at it, maybe you talk yourself into, hey, we're going to be as good as Thunder. Do I think that makes them better? No. But maybe you can talk yourself into it from a front office perspective.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be tough. But, I mean, you could make the money work probably.
Yeah.
I'll say this, too. I do feel like he's going to wind up somewhere like Brooklyn or Sacramento or just somewhere. He needs to get away. I do think that's a whole new thing. It's like, let's go get you far away. Let's try something new. I wished it would be somewhere like Minnesota. Until Castle and those guys came along, I was like, maybe they'll try to get, you know, once the Trae Young thing didn't work out in San Antonio, I was like, maybe they'll try that. That's out of the business. I don't know who would want him. You need to sell tickets. The Wizards were the perfect team for that. So they got the other guy. Chicago, I don't know, like, where, because I hate to say this, but I do think he's going to have to go to a place that's just like, we got to sell some stuff. That's the main thing.
It's going to be odd because, like we mentioned, his value not being at the apex. Initially, I usually think who has first round picks, right? That's where my mind goes. But we've already established that there's a great chance Ja Morant doesn't go for a lot of first round picks. So this is probably going to come down to a good player and one first round pick. So when you look around and think who has a good player, I love that Minnesota idea. I thought that was. I'm not going to rule out this Boston thing. I'm going to hold on to this one and it looks crazy today, I know. And then you can never rule out Miami, right? Because they always want, but never really pull the trigger, right, on some of these blockbuster deals. So it's going to be a good player and then a first round pick, I think, is what's going to get this deal done. How protected is that pick? I don't know. Oklahoma City's got all the first round picks, but obviously they don't need them. It's just I don't know if I don't see a direct where you have so much fun with these trades. Nothing stands out. I've just been thinking as you guys were talking after you asked that question, nothing just really stands out like, oh, this offseason, he's for sure going there, which I think may be part of the problem, if we're being completely honest. Like, you know.
Yeah. I mean, you look at Boston as a traditionally smart organization, but don't forget, Isaiah Thomas had the best season of his life, and then they got him out of there.
Yeah,
they sent him out of there. Jaylen Brown, best season of his life this year.
You're right.
Jaylen Brown wants to be a solo star.
Right.
There's always going to be a little bit of who's the 1A, who's the 1B. This season it's been Jaylen Brown, but if that persists, and if Boston is just willing to take a risk, and honestly, is Ja 2 years younger than Jaylen Brown? I think he's 2 years younger.
Yeah,
something like that. Yeah. But because no. I'm sorry, he's much younger because Jaylen Brown's 2015. Yeah, Ja's 2020. So he's much younger.
4 or 5 years.
Yeah, but
Josh 2019. So about 3-4 years. Yeah.
Yeah. So if they want to reset their timeline a little bit, especially with the second apron that we have now, where it's like basically you just have to reset your cap every 2 years. Like you got 2 good years, everybody resets the cap. Not a terrible move. Would I want to do it? No, but not a terrible move.
No. I'll tell you one thing I really hope for.
What's up, bro?
Because I don't think he's leaving Memphis. I think the market's just so bad. They've got to hope for. You mentioned Alfred. They've got to hope for one more year of him being really good.
Yeah,
and then you can reset his status. Maybe he's good up until the All-Star break of next year. But I'll tell you one thing. I'm a huge Carolina fan too, mom's side of the family. If they go out and get Caleb Wilson, that place will change. Caleb brought an energy to Carolina as the wine and cheese crowd that he brought, wideouts. He's like, we should do this as a unit. And so he took his social media popularity and was like, hey, let's do a wideout tonight. And so the SIDs were like, dude, we got a guy just doing free promotion for us. He's that kind of guy around there. 6'10". I really believe in his skill set. Until he got injured, he was tier 1. I think he could fall to them if they're, staying in the same 5-6 range they're at. He would be a special guy for Memphis, and he's got the same chip on his shoulder, super athlete. I think he would be an elite rookie for Memphis to help that crowd out because I think he's such a good dude.
I think Ja would
kinda
polarizing enough, though. We're now talking about a team that may be in franchise saving mode, right? Like I think Memphis right now is 29th in ticket sales this year. They're going to finish either 30th or 29th.
Who's the worst?
New Orleans.
I think New Orleans is the worst.
Yeah, by far.
Can we get them out of there?
Yeah.
If you want to talk about
That's New Orleans,
franchises being
Memphis, and
changed,
Washington.
That's
Yeah.
the thought is to like why expand when you could just move the Pelicans.
Yeah, they're bad. I like Caleb Wilson a lot, and I thought it was fun watching who's on his phone background throughout the year. I like he wears the chips really well. I love that about him. I do think they need somebody that can get above, that can put some. I'm telling you, I know what Memphis likes.
Yeah,
And Caleb is really, really good, really good, and probably going to go no lower than 6, right? But I really think Memphis has to find a way, and maybe that's the trade, right? If Memphis falls out of the top 3 of the draft, and let's just say they're 6, and Caleb's staring at them, could Memphis package their 6 and Ja to get in that top 3? That might be the move, right? Like that may be.
Ooh, that's a good way to look at that.
That may be what they have to do to get. Again, I think you got to get Darren, AJ. You got to shoot here, or you got to get the kid from Arkansas. You got to get a player, and I think he'd be a good one, by the way. That comes in ready to work and can put some butts in seats. Can put some. You kind of got to. I don't know if Caleb can do that. Is that you're a Caleb Wilson guy? I didn't like that's such a interesting one.
Yeah, because I think here's the thing: is I think that a franchise like Memphis, as polarizing as they need it to be, Ja went too far on the spectrum.
You're right. You are right.
They need to bring somebody back, and that was the thing about Zebo. Was yes, you got polarizing Zebo the first 30 days, but he turned around. He was not Portland Trailblazers Zebo.
Right.
A very different guy. You had, I think Caleb would be more like Mike Conley, but on the court, he's got the swag. You're going to get elite dunks. Like, you're back in the highlight reel, and I know it's not the same as when we were growing up. Like, there's no Sports Center top 10, but you're going to be on there. You're going to have every highlight reel. Like, oh man, that's a good. As Drew loves the late night games and the League Pass games. So
big fan. Yeah,
big fan.
I've even watched
guy.
I've even watched a couple of the Tanking Grizzlies. I'm not gonna lie. I've enjoyed kind of the pick a name. Like I'll look up a player who's on the roster who I have no idea where he came from.
Cam Spence is a good parlay guy, man.
That's right.
No, he is not.
Oh,
no,
on the wrong side.
He's been on the wrong side of that one a few times.
Recently he's been on the wrong side. Oh no!
Hey,
he started out so great. He started out so great. Like he was really good early in the year with parlays.
Shout out to my former Memphis Grizzly, Mr. Luke Kennard, walking double-double.
Luke Kennard. Luke Kennard's doing some good things with LA.
And they're scraping the bottom of the barrel over there. Oh man!
I know we're coming up on an hour, and I want to be mindful of your time, and I want to stick with hoops for a second because we're entering the postseason. If you could just give us your thoughts, what's to be expected? I mean, we can start in Lakerland. I mean, the situation with Luka. We can talk about your MVP thoughts. I mean, is it SGA? And then also. Finally, if you just give us some predictions for, I mean, what do you think this matchup's going to be in the finals?
Yeah, I think Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is the most valuable player of the league. Here's the problem with SGA and Jokic. Unfortunately, they have reached this spot where they're a product of their own greatness, right? Like Jokic he basically averaged a triple-double the last 3 years, 4 years. Like, and he's done nothing wrong to not win this award. But I don't want to hold it against Shai that the most of the Oklahoma City Thunder game don't make it to the fourth quarter. Basically, is why. Like, neither of these guys have went above their incredible all-time great expectations night in, night out this year. Right? They've been unbelievable, but we're so used to their unbelievable that we kind of take it for granted. I think Shai's going to win the award. He's the favorite to win the award right now. He's going to go back to back. Again, I don't want to the Lucas stuff when he was starting to gain some steam over the last few weeks here before the injury. For me, I was just kind of like, I get it, but I don't want I don't want to hold it against Shea that the Thunder are so great. They only got about 5 to 6 teams in the league that can make it to the fourth quarter against them. So I think Shea's going to win MVP, and I think staying with I think Shea's going to win his second championship as well. Here, I got Celtics Thunder figuring this thing out in the finals, and I'll take OKC in 6. It would be great for the league if you can get both of those teams in there with the star power at the top, and a great 2 Shea and Jalen versus Jalen and Jason, right? You can market that's a lot better than the last couple finals we've had. So I think that's kind of what we're looking at. The Luka injury is unfortunate. He was incredible. I'm not a big Luka guy, but I would acknowledge he was incredible the last 2.5, 3 weeks of the season before the injury. I can't hate on that. So I think that's kind of what we're looking at. Should be a good playoffs, by the way. Mostly outside of the Lakers, everybody's healthy. Going into the playoffs, Cade's coming back, I think, right now as we shoot this. So I think we're looking good here from an injury perspective to have a good one. It should be a good one. Should be a good run here.
It's crazy what heartbreak can do to a man, because the situation with Luka and him, having the thing with his kids, not being able to have visibility with them, and not being able to, it's crazy watching Luka. I will ask, as a Laker fan, and I want to see how you feel when I say this. I'm good on seeing Luka as a Laker the rest of this year. Meaning, I want to shut Luka down, because Luka could tear his Achilles if he rushes back from this hammy too fast. And now we're losing Luka for the next. I mean, right. And he's not going to be like a Jason Tatum. Meaning,
he ain't coming back in March.
No, like,
no.
Them beers don't catch up with him. He won't be back in March.
He's going to be in Dallas eating in those cars, trying to be with the kids. He's not going to be like Jason Tatum, seeing Deuce once a week for the last 52 weeks.
Right.
And in the gym. So what are your thoughts about Luka? I mean, you want him back? I mean, we want the Lakers to be at their best, but is that stupid?
Malcolm, you hit it on the head. The irony is, as early as Tatum got back, so what, like 11 months, right? 10, 11 months. You could argue, and I want to knock on wood with this. If the unfortunate happened, Luka rushed back here for this playoff run, you could argue that Luka may be the opposite of Tatum, right? He may take, we're usually looking at a year with Achilles injuries. He may take 18 months. I can see the opposite of what happened with Tatum happening with Luka, right? So I think you definitely got to be careful with him and them beers, right? That he allegedly loves to consume, which I ain't mad at the beer drinker. But when my best player in the world is a prominent beer drinker, I'm a little concerned. The Lakers also, here's the thing, right? They, depending on seeding, I think is the answer to your question. The Lakers have one pathway to make a run. They cannot beat the Oklahoma City Thunder. You see what happened last week when they got blown out with them. They do have a pathway here, though. Rockets are a good matchup for the Lakers. They've handed the Rockets a couple L's over the last month. Denver, for some odd reason, Luka, although LeBron has struggled with Jokic this decade, Luka plays really well against Jokic. It's very odd, but he doesn't have problems with Jokic like LeBron and Anthony Davis did, right? So if you could find a way to get Houston first round, and then you see Denver may have a favorable matchup second round, I think that would be the one where I'm like, maybe Luka should try it to get to the conference finals, right? If you see that pathway. If you see the Oklahoma City Thunder in your pathway for the second round, you can forget it. All right? If you end up on that 4 line and in the second round you got OKC, if I'm Luka, I'm shutting it down. You're not beating the Thunder anyway. You're gonna lose in 5 games at best. So I think the pathway, how these seedings line up here the last week or so of the season, would kind of dictate it for me if I'm Luka. But he does fit the build of the guy that could go down for the season. What you guys think about it? Like, how y'all feeling going into the playoffs this year?
I mean, I think there's always that hope with a guy like Luka when you have top 3 guy in the league that he can just levitate. Oh wow, I didn't know that was that a hot take?
That was
no, it's not. It's a great take. It's a great take.
I get it. I get he's not for everybody, but I think that when you have that talent, there's always the hope of like, can he just be the best player in any series and we get away with it? But then you look at these OKC Lakers regular season matchups. I know yesterday doesn't really count because the Lakers, I think their whole roster was out.
Yeah.
But they did, like 2 weeks ago, maybe a week ago, have a matchup on national television where both sides were healthy. And the Thunder, and this is something I was talking to my dad about earlier, for another point, but the Thunder, it wasn't that SGA, Jalen Williams, and Chet Holmgren outclassed LeBron, Austin Reeves, and Luka per se. It was that AJ Mitchell, Cason Wallace, Jared McCain, Hartenstein, all of them outclassed the rest of the Lakers. And that's the big worry with me is like, does it even against a team like against a team like Minnesota, like that's going to hurt because that right now that's the Lakers playoff matchup is Minnesota. Minnesota has to win out. The Rockets have to lose out to get to the Rockets.
Right.
And I just think when you get in those scenarios, there's always that part of me that says I would really, really like to see Luka Doncic play basketball if he's able. And I'd really, if he's able to do it and he wants to do it, I want him to do it. But then you look at an injury like Tyrese Halliburton last year, where the Pacers just nuked the season. Like if the Pacers win, their fans are upset this year. Like they're not. I think they have the worst record. They've picked up a couple wins recently, but yeah, it could be a franchise changer for the next. You're right, 18 months, like to where you're running back the D'Lo, Jordan Clarkson era of Lakers basketball.
Right.
Oh my God.
Right.
And that's on teams' minds, what you're speaking to. The playoffs was a very, very that Halliburton Tatum thing happened like in 2 weeks, right? We had Dame goes down first round, I think, with the hamstring, with the Achilles tear, and then you get Tatum and then you get Halliburton back-to-back rounds there. I mean that was a pretty rough one. There's no way teams are not thinking about that, and I think when it comes to Halliburton's injury. Indiana, speaking of what you said, like Indiana said, we're not even playing with it. So Celtics never ruled Tatum out, and he obviously made the incredible comeback. The Pacers said Halliburton will not be back under any circumstance this year, no matter how great we are. And I don't care we win, 60 games, you won't see Halliburton this year because of that fear that this could be a long-term injury. And a guy like Luka, man, with the money he's made and he's played a lot of professional basketball in his life, although he's still fairly young, mid-20s. I don't want that guy 18 months removed from basketball with the amount of beers that he's going to drink. I'm going to be completely honest with you. I'm scared of these beers. All right? I do not want him with these beers away from basketball for 18 months.
There's always the pressure, though, being in a Lakers jersey. And as much as I am I wouldn't say I'm a Lakers hater. I'm not a Lakers fan, that's for sure. But I would say whenever you put on that, it's now yellow, but when you ever put on the purple and gold, like there's more pressure there than anywhere else in the league. As much as I want Boston to be that, they're not. When you put on a Lakers jersey, the mecca of the basketball world tunes into what you're doing. Even when the Lakers were terrible, they were one of the worst products to watch in the league. There is that pressure to perform, and I think that's going to play an impact. Like I think when you like if Luka was still in Dallas, they're not going to rush their franchise guy back. But when that purple and gold's on, and when you're talking about maybe the last like truly great season of LeBron James basketball we get,
you're talking about the Lakers pressure. What about that? That's the one that the Lakers pressure is. Don't get me wrong, because that pressure, even at this point in LeBron's career, the pressure of playing with LeBron, we've seen that time and time again. Like just be what gets a guy traded, what gets a guy. That's the pressure. I think more than anything is the pressure of being looked at as 1A to LeBron, which we ain't seen in 15 years. So that is
sure.
That's a great pressure.
And Bron the other night, 30, 15, and 9. He can still do it.
He's
been fitting the role. So even if Austin Reeves is really out to the second round, there's still that hope. There's still that, and I'm excited to see how it shakes out. I wish nothing but the best for Luka Doncic. Basketball is better when he plays.
They get Minnesota. They ain't got to worry about it. They don't got to worry about it. When LeBron will be home. Hey, LeBron, you wanted more time for golf. You hated going to Memphis. you get Minnesota based on what we saw last year. You didn't got to worry about it. You'll be home very soon. Wife and kids will be able to have as much time with dad and husband this offseason as they like. I love. There'll be enough time for golf this offseason if the Lakers get the Minnesota Timberwolves in the first round and no Luka and no Austin Reeves.
Him picking up golf makes me think we're getting real close.
Oh, the end is near.
Yeah.
Where does he? Alfred, what's your opinion? Like, where does he go next year? What's next year's move for LeBron?
Well, I got a move for you. Well, I'm heavy on this one, man. So the LeBron. This is a hot take. I'm gonna be honest with you. This is my first Chatt It Up hot take that I'm giving you guys.
Sound the alarm.
Me and my wife were at a Clippers game about 3 years ago, and we get on the elevator, and a very, very, very good smelling gentleman, white guy, bald-headed white guy, is coming off of the elevator. And everybody's like, everybody's like tensed, right? It was Steve Ballmer, one of the richest people on God's green earth. My wife didn't know what the heck was going on. And I'm like, baby, that dude right there is richer than pretty much every owner in the NBA combined. All right. I've always thought it was interesting, and there has to be something here with either Rich Paul or something went bad with Tyronn Lue and LeBron. And I know they can say all the great comments publicly. I don't understand for the life of me why LeBron James and the Clippers don't do business. And I only bring it up because it does not appear that Cleveland and LeBron, this thing that seemed so like we were headed and destiny toward a LeBron retirement tour, with them going in the James Harden direction. We'll see, but it doesn't appear that we're heading that way. Wife doesn't want to leave Los Angeles. Family's in LA. Your son plays, by the way, he will be obviously traded from Lakers to Clippers the day LeBron, wherever he goes, they're going to get his boy. It seems like to please wife, which has mattered so much to LeBron, and not go to Memphis, since that also matters so much to LeBron. I wonder why the Clippers and LeBron don't do business. And, with the rumors out there that Steve maybe pays guys under the table, maybe a Kawhi tree business is out there. Why not? If there's anything that's going to make your money back, maybe you and LeBron start a whatever business together, right? Like, there's so many different ways why LeBron would be available. I know Kawhi had a great year this year, but generally speaking, he's been banged up. You've tried so many unknowns. This is the greatest unknown that the NBA is, the greatest known the NBA has ever had is LeBron James. I wonder why not, though. So, like, that's my one, the Clippers. I'm saying LeBron to the Clippers. It crosses a lot of T's, dots a lot of I's with what LeBron needs at this point in his life. I think anybody might know. Yes, no, maybe, no.
The new arena makes me think that's possible.
Yeah.
Money talk.
It's not.
Money talks, y'all, but like legacy matters to LeBron. And that move would low-key be up there with Kevin Durant's Golden State move. It'd be perceived as one of the biggest sucker moves in NBA history. You don't go from a Lakers jersey to a Clippers jersey.
It'd be in a different form. It'd be like the opposite, but kind of, I guess, the same.
I think it'd be one of the most commendable moves in NBA history.
Are you for real?
Yeah, I think the complete opposite of you. The Clippers don't win. They have a new arena. LeBron would pack it out. It would be unprecedented to see a guy go from Lakerland to Clipperland. I mean, you talking about going from, like, that would be a very unprecedented.
The Battle of LA would be crazy because think, you got Luka on one side, you got Bron on the other.
With Kawhi, with the season that he had.
Yeah. And that's what they've been looking for over there.
He's always sold his wife as his 50-50 partner, which listen, a lot of professional athletes don't sell their wife as they 50-50. Most wives got to get up and go. Like, that's just the reality of it. Or the partner of professional other has to just get up and go. LeBron's always said, Savannah, this thing don't move without my wife, Savannah. If that's true, and if she doesn't want to leave Los Angeles, which have been the rumblings, I'm just saying there's a pathway to stay in LA.
That's not bad.
No. And I mean, what Ballmer has wanted forever with the wall, with Intuit, is he wants to be the predominant team in LA. It's never going to happen. Trust me. They will never take over the city. But with that,
so he'll step in that direction.
Yeah, you could at least convince yourself for this year and this year only, people are going to watch LA Clippers basketball almost, if not more, than the Lakers. I did want to ask you one thing. Do you think it'd be just fun just to see him on the Warriors? Just fun.
And I can't rule that one out, right? So
Yeah.
I got probably returning to LA #1, Clippers a long shot as #2. I think right there somewhere, right after Clippers, got to be what you're speaking. Maybe even higher, the Warriors. It seems like there's something there between him and Steph, right? Like it seems like they want to do this.
Yeah.
And Steph is unfortunately overcommitted, in my estimations, to Golden State. I think that's there. I wouldn't be surprised one bit if Golden State finds a way to at least make a offer that makes sense to the Lakers for LeBron. I don't see that. Now we're getting into the Malcolm. You spoke to the lacking the integrity and how bad of a. To me, that's the one where I'll be like, I mean, Bron, but that would be the move where I'm like, do you really because now you're adding expectations again to your career. Like that wouldn't be the one that I was like, I don't like, but it does feel like there's some momentum to that, right? Like it feels like something's there.
Yeah,
definitely. I can see that.
What a group. They'd be like the old heads getting all together at the YMCA.
Old heads.
100%.
dude, watching them on the Olympics.
Oh my gosh.
Two summers ago now.
Oh, yeah, bro.
Man, it's just fun, man. Even if they aren't like the best basketball team, I mean, talk about a primetime stealer. I mean,
The
you're
golf
talking
content, by the way.
yeah.
There we go. That's a full circle.
Dude, the Warriors would have to have a second golf channel.
Oh yeah.
Especially if you keep Draymond, the Heat want to play.
Curry Brand, free agent right
Free
now.
agent
Still a
right
sneaky
now.
free
That's
agent.
right.
They go to
right.
Nike, they launch their own golf line. Dude, we got it all figured out.
Yeah.
We need a pitch, y'all.
We got a pitch, dude.
We got a pitch right now.
Listen, I'll say that would probably be the most fun if he's not going to stay with the Lakers. I feel like going to the Clippers takes him a little too far out of the limelight. Let's be honest. Our boy likes the limelight.
No, he likes the juice for sure.
Yeah, he wants to start.
It'll fall.
And if the Clippers just aren't going to be big enough, you're going to be what, a 7 seed, a 6 seed again?
Maybe.
It just doesn't feel right. I don't know if that's going to be, it's going to be hard to replace John Collins with LeBron James. I'm just saying. Shout out to the Hawks. But I have to think that if he went up to Golden State, you're going to have to find one more decent player. It's not bad.
We're finding some pennies here because you're right with LeBron and Draymond's relationship would make you believe that if LeBron's coming, Draymond's staying, right? So that now you're $25 million. I think Draymond's contract's around $25 million of what he was able to command. So you had $250 million guys. We're about out of money, right? And that team don't look great. That feels like in 2026, that doesn't feel like a championship contending team. LeBron, Steph, and Draymond by itself, right? Like we'll be out of money. So I think that'll be I hope he doesn't go to the Warriors. Be fun, but I got what I needed from that in the Olympics. Like I got that moment, right? Like what it could have been like, but I don't know if I need to see it for LeBron's retirement tour.
At this stage, it does. It feels a little off. Like you're like, man, we missed our window. If we were ever gonna get it, we missed our window.
Right.
Yeah, 2K's on sale right now. You can go do it on there.
That's exactly what those video games are. Man, I put some studs on the Tennessee Titans back in the day.
Madden.
Yeah.
Dude, I've got a this is way off topic. I've got a Sonics franchise. Brandon Miller is the lead player before he was drafted.
Shout out B Mills, man.
Yeah, B Mills. Eight championships in a row with Brandon Miller.
Yo, how long are you gonna keep this franchise going? Like what's this?
It's dead. I played it. It's 2K23 on current gen Xbox One because I did not get a PS5 until past year.
Okay.
And yeah, it was. I kept it going for 11 seasons. And I'll be honest, by the time that I got down, because they don't have you can't have all the real players. By the time I got to the 12th season, like half the league was completely gone. I didn't recognize it.
Yeah, nobody's there.
It was just Brandon Miller and Wembanyama, to be honest. So I called it quits after the eight-time champion.
You know it's bad when guys that you're now older, like guys that you're older than have retired.
Yeah.
That's a pretty day. You guys get big gamers or no? Big gaming? Or I know Malcolm, you got a 5, don't you?
Yeah, I got a 5, but like college football 2026, I'm on quite a bit.
Yeah.
I still play Rocket League.
Mm.
I'm such a dork, bro.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm still on League very heavy, but nah, man, what else? What else do I play? Fortnite?
Yeah.
I dabble into
Dude,
Fortnite.
you check in. Dude, I got a really like vicious cycle with Fortnite.
Yeah.
So every year I swear it off, and then there's always one random season that pulls me back in.
Yeah.
I'll grind the entire pass. Like I'll stay up way too late with my buddies playing it. We all get on for one season, then we're done. We don't touch it again for the rest of the year.
Now, how often do the seasons come?
It's probably like once every month and a half, 2
Yeah,
months.
okay.
something like that. Yeah, there's quite a few.
It's
Yeah,
not a quarter, but it's
Yeah.
like a little less than a quarter.
yeah. So they got and of course whenever you're playing the game you gotta load up the credit card and you spend like $50 that would have been there for food. So
I will tell you, At, there's this game, and it's good for you and your wife. It's called Split Fiction. All right,
Okay.
it's on the PlayStation 5, and basically, y'all, it's like these co-op games. So it's called Split Fiction, and another one is called It Takes Two. All right, and
Familiar with It Takes Two. Split Fiction is new to me though.
yeah, Split Fiction is basically it's a book, and you have like a fairy tale version, and she'll have like a tech version, but it's the same story, and y'all have to get through these challenges. It's like It Takes Two, but it's like a book, and it's phenomenal. So I would definitely tell you to check that out
All right, I'll check that out.
on the PlayStation.
that
It's a great date night video game. So,
I'll check it out.
but we're about to check out, and I just wanted to say a couple things, bro. Thank you, bro. This has been one of the best conversations. Like, I appreciate you. Dropped on a dime. I was like, yo, I'd love to have you on the show. Text me back 10 minutes later. Let's do it. Like, it's just who you are. Where can our viewers and listeners find you and all of your content, man? Because it's something they need daily.
Yeah, thank y'all so much for having me again, fellas. It was a pleasure. Malcolm, you can make that call anytime. And
Of course.
Chase, we gotta figure this Hawks thing out, man. We gotta do this.
Sure do.
Best of luck with little one number 2. You can find me at it's Mr. Taliaferro. That's ITSMRTALIAFERRO on all platforms. I think I got one of the most engaging Facebooks on the planet. I've done 45 million views this month on Facebook. So please head over and be a part of a very growing community. My YouTube is at it's Mr. Taliaferro. A lot of changes coming to that in the future, and TikTok is something that we're going to hit really, really hard. I have a goal of about 150,000 followers on TikTok this year that I'm going to get started second quarter. So find me, follow me. I love engaging with people that support me, and thank y'all so much for having me. Chat it up, man. Y'all doing this thing. Chattanooga, Tennessee.
We're trying, buddy.
Yes. Thank y'all so much.
And thank you to the rest of our listeners. Another episode of Chatt It Up Sports. Make sure you like, subscribe, follow at Chatt It Up Sports. Fellas, it's been a good one.
God, great one.
Special shout out to Ideal Yachts as well for all you guys do. And we will be back with more content as always. We appreciate y'all. Until next time.